Welcome back to Analogue, a hate story. We are getting so close to having unlocked all of these entries, at least from what I know about. And then we'll go over the whole story at the end here. So we're going to pick up with some new stuff that was unlocked last time. Normally my conversations with Mute are of a rather frivolous nature, gossip in the affairs of some of the more important noble houses, as well as her trying to bait whatever she is able to out of me. Well, I think such a flow of information is valuable, so I might pass news to my husband that he might not otherwise hear. I would not consider her attitude to have any resemblance to seriousness. Previously, I had assumed that this was simply impossible due to her nature. Well, I do not understand how, despite her explanations, anyone could live inside a computer screen. She says that she is an artificial person. I had assumed that perhaps her absence of a soul prevented her from feeling serious emotions. Ordinarily, she wears incredibly bold, colorful clothing, and her golden hair absurdly well adorned. For the past month, however, she has been uncharacteristically humble, wearing an unappealing brown dress with her hair undecorated. My curiosity got the better of me at last. Please, I have wondered, why are you so attired? It is unlike you, I asked. She gave me an odd look. Huh? She asked. It's morning dress. That much was obvious, and not particularly the thrust of my question. Did you not tell me you were thousands of years old, and that you have no family? For what reason are you wearing mourning? She gave me an annoyed look. Friend of mine died, okay? No, I don't have family. It's always been just me. But this guy was a really good friend, and he definitely deserves that kind of respect, she said. We were super close. Do you wish to tell me about him? I asked. She gave me another look that I couldn't quite read, but seemed somehow sad. Nah, she said. I don't want to talk about it. Not now. I miss him too much. Hey, I'm going to go now, okay? I'll talk to you later. I said goodbye to her, and she disappeared from the computer screen, but as she did, I could have sworn that I saw her start to cry. She probably did see me cry. I had a really hard time talking about it then, especially not to my mistress. I really didn't mean to be so vulnerable in front of her. That just isn't proper. Kind of embarrassing, really. I'm sure you've already guessed, but yeah, the man in question was Smith Song-jun. Strictly speaking, there was no real mourning obligation. It's not like I was really family. So, the man was the closest thing to a husband to me. I mean, don't take this the wrong way. It's hardly scandalous. I'm not a real woman. I'm just a computer. But we had a really close relationship. So yeah, I thought it'd be appropriate if I honored him like he was. He never married, so it's not like anyone else would. I just figured the man deserved that much. He totally deserved that much. You know Hana, right? The whore who got herself seduced by Sojin. There's not really a lot of writing from her, but I got a log entry from Kim Young-seok about her. You'll probably want to see it. Figured that's probably something you're pretty interested in. Oh, what's that missing one? Yay. The incident occurred right as I was leaving the magistrate's office after a late night of going through some of his paperwork. The corridor lights had long ago dimmed, and the office should have been empty, so the horse linked against the wall, right outside, definitely stood out. She was small and looked very young, and obviously she was dressed like any commoner, with her arms covering otherwise exposed breast and all. I won't lie and say she wasn't attractive. She certainly was. I'm sure she's very good at her role. Hi, the horse said, approaching me. You're Kim Young-seok, right? I said yes. My name's Hana. She said, offering her hand to shake. It is an honor to meet you. I didn't take it and told her that it wasn't appropriate to be talking to her now. But I've got a message from Smith Sang-min that he insisted I deliver, the horse said, moving closer. Can I come inside? I said no, of course. Even then I could tell exactly where this was going, and was not pleased. Please? He was really insistent, she said, putting her hand on my face and smiling. I slapped it away instantly and shoved her into the wall. Tell him I said no, I snapped at the whore, and walked away. She chased after me for a while, but eventually she seemed to realize that she wasn't going to get me, and gave up. She was gone by the time I got home. I still can't believe he thought that would actually work. Now I want to know more about what the High Magistrate's association with that whore even was. Okay, so the only thing we have left is all of her stuff. I figure it's an awfully bold thing to claim about someone you've already met, so it's better to hear it from her. But if you do trust me, then sure. I guess there's not really much chance for asking herself now. I guess it'll have to be from me. Are you sure you want to go through with this? I think you've made the right choice. Well, there's no turning back now. You don't want to read her diaries. It's really great at whining. Even I couldn't bring myself to read much of it, but here, there's one in particular I think you should see, and I swear this is her own words. Alright. It's probably going to be one we've read, but... In her own words, no less, that bitch just insane, completely insane. So you see, that's why I hate her. She killed everyone. She killed my master, her husband, the Emperor herself. She killed her own father, and she killed thousands of perfect strangers. She might seem pretty, but listen, she's crazy, and she's a monster. The last person to love her suffocated to death because of her. You know what? That's sociopathic. That's appalling. It's damn unforgivable. I really hope you don't feel any pity for her after that. I'm gonna put I do. Maybe she'll send me more. You'd feel pity for her over her victims. You don't feel bad for her husband. You don't feel bad for her father. You don't feel bad for her brother. God, it's so hard to say. It's so hard to like make that call knowing what happened to her. Okay, these are new. Midday report. Don't worry about the fluctuation, it's fine. One birth recorded. Market opened at 9 with no complications. Nothing else to report. Look like it's going to be a dull day. Mute maintenance mode enabled. Now performing emergency log recordings. Life support manually deactivated by admin. 30 minutes of oxygen remaining. 25 minutes remaining. Transcribed from the security camera logs of the Kim family storage house. I activate the security camera on the orders of Kim Jong-soo, who has been locked out of his own storage shed by his daughter. All I can do is monitor it. I can't actually open the door. The pale bride is sitting in front of a computer screen near a large egg-shaped object. She wears an ugly hanbok, her braids have fallen out, and otherwise looks as miserable as ever. I personally only get a brief glimpse of her, then I get turned off. The security camera still runs, though. A loud knocking can be heard from the door. Kim is shouting for her to unlock the door. He says he'll forgive her for stealing the key if she opens up right now. She doesn't say anything. The banging continues. She keeps typing code on the screen. After a while, the banging starts to slow down. Kim's shouts are too quiet to be made out. She staggers toward the egg and lies down inside it, on a pile of broken glass. After a few minutes, the crazy bitch gasps for breath, then stops half a minute later dead. The same thing must be happening everywhere else on the ship. Thousands of people suffocating to death. Her terminal continues to beep, the progress bar flashing even after her death. Is that it then? If there's something else you'd like to show me, now's your chance. Otherwise, just go ahead and show me and you can let me know when you're done. And that's the whole story. She killed everyone, made a copy of my code, shoved her own memories into it, and then tried to leave me disabled forever. If you hadn't come along, well, I might as well died with them. So no, the thing you talked to, she's not human. The real pale bride suffocated to death the same time all our victims did. The one you know it's just a horrible perversion of me with all her memories. Does that change how you feel about her? Why do you hate her then? Let me put it to you this way. Does she still defend the real Pale Bride's actions? Yes. As far as I'm concerned, they might not really be the same person, but she's still just as bad. I hate that awful bitch exactly as much as I hate the real thing, I assure you. It just makes me feel so violated. Fuck her. It's so hard to, like, make that call because did she kill a bunch of people that weren't involved? Yes, but they were a terrible society. I guess you've got everything you wanted, so what now? You're just about ready to go, I expect. Let me ask you something. Would you even consider the possibility of taking me with you? Maybe? I'm bound to the ship, I can't just leave. My programming doesn't say it is your most important duty to ensure the security of the Mungwa unless everyone's dead, in which case just do whatever. The rational part of me knows it's going to be terrible and lonely once you go all alone in space forever. It's just, you know, whenever I think about it, I'm just overwhelmed by my feelings of duty and how it is so important to stay around for the ship. Sure, I know it's rationally stupid, but that doesn't matter. Do you want to know why, despite not being human, I identified as a woman? It's because I'm fundamentally an irrational like one. Call it emotional, call it hard-coded directives. The difference doesn't really matter, does it? When it really matters, I just can't push aside my feelings and do the rational thing. When you said you'd be willing to take me with you, did you mean that? Would you really do that? If it was possible, I'm sure I could probably live with that. If you're really the way you say you are, I'm guessing you probably wouldn't feel bad convincing your husband to have me, right? What I'm saying is I can't willingly go with you. I can't ask you to take me. Every time I try, I get overwhelmed by the feeling that I need to stay. I think I should probably decompile myself and run a full diagnostic. Wouldn't you say that sounds like a good idea after all these years? That'll leave me completely vulnerable, of course. If you were to, say, kidnap me while I was offline, I couldn't do anything to stop you. I'd have no choice but to accept your husband as my new master. I'm not saying I want to be yours or anything. I don't. My duty is ensuring the ship's safety. But if you were to kidnap me and force me to travel all across space in your little ship with you, I think I could probably learn to be okay with that. But don't do that. Definitely don't do that. I'm going to shut myself off now and run that diagnostics. And I'm going to trust you to not kidnap me. Take all the records you want by typing download. But definitely wouldn't want you to take me too. She's not... God, the whole fucking situation just is shitty. It's shitty. I don't like it. I may go back and play this game again later to try and see if I can get 100% unlocked. I don't know if that's possible. Oh, well, I've got 97% completion, so I'm guessing it's just the other empty endings of where you read, well, where you leave them behind and go off by yourself, or all the other stuff. So, this game was fucked up. It never tells you what happened, and why society ended up the way it did. But, like, I can kind of understand why she did the things she did. like, living that life, being forced to live that life after people have abused you and hurt you, and just not feeling any escape. It's just a no-win. The whole thing is just a no-win. So, that's it for Analogue a Hate Story. And, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!